I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos. We just finished up this 100-plus-year-old George Steck that was a complete rebuild, restoration, and we have a very unique component of this restoration, one that we'd never done before, but turned out awesome, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So this piano was not originally this satin black, but I think it turned out gorgeous. I think that the owner of this piano made absolutely the right decision doing this as the satin black. I love the way it turned out, and the black with the brass just looks awesome. And the pedals down there, those are the original pedals that are replated here at the shop. And the hinge, all polished, the knobs, new casters, and it's double rubber casters, so it rolls really easily, and it also doesn't mark up wood floors, which is a contrast from how pianos that were built in this era were originally, which was these big steel casters that if you put it on a wood floor, it not only leaves an indentation because these pianos are so heavy, but also if you push it, it'll leave a trail in a wood floor. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, do I show you the special? I think I will. Let's do it now, and then I'll show you the inside after. Okay, here is the part that we have never done before. This customer asked us, challenged us to do original ivory. So this was the fabulous Victoria here at the shop. She is an artist, and I don't mean that in only the kind of proverbial sense or complimentary sense. She literally has art shows on a regular basis. She comes here and she works a full-time job here at the piano shop, and then she goes home and works on her art gallery projects, and then she displays all over, and she is really, really talented. Anyway, so she was the perfect person to do it. And fortunately, we have a huge stash of ivory. We've recovered so many keys over the years. Why don't we go have a look over here at our key station while we're talking about it. So this is where we do all the keys. You can see we'll take an action that's a Yamaha Grand action, and then they go through a series of routers and planes them down and files them and sands them and gets them, and then finally buffs them, gets them in good condition. And usually this is what we put on. And of course this is a mess right there, but they come in, that's plastic, which, you know, it's the same stuff that's used on very expensive, $100,000 pianos. So the word plastic is kind of a dirty word, I suppose, but it, it's tough. It's good stuff. But having done so many over the years, we've gathered huge stashes of this old ivory. And that is real ivory. That's real elephant tusk. And of course it's illegal to trade internationally in that. And I have a video that should be coming out soon about an Erard that came from Paris that was forced to have the ivory stripped before it was allowed to enter the country. So international trade in ivory is illegal, and it has been for decades now. But as far as like interstate, it's still legal to work with instruments. And if the instrument, by the way, if it's over 100 years old and if it's for personal use, you can apply for a permit to move internationally with something that has ivory on it. There was a case, and the U.S. government is really strict on ivory, which is probably a good thing. I mean, we don't want to incentivize poaching of elephants. But there was a case not too long ago where there was an orchestra. Somebody had a professional orchestra from Europe that was coming to the United States. Somebody had a bow, cello bow or violin bow or something that had a little piece of inlay ivory, and it was confiscated, and it was a huge ordeal. Anyway, ivory is a big deal. But what we've done here, because we've harvested all of that old ivory from years and years and years, literally decades now of redoing key top job after key top job, day after day after week after week after month. I mean, we do so many keys. We'll harvest a piece of ivory from this piano, 2 pieces from that piano, 5 pieces from that piano, another piece. A lot of pianos we can't get any ivory. It's just too far gone. And so this was a huge job. Victoria actually logged her hours, and she was up around, I think, 150 man hours of work on this ivory. That is a lot of work. If you think about it, that's working straight for almost a month, full-time job, just working on this ivory. Everything from choosing the right ones, color matching, scraping off the old glue, cleaning it, steaming it, bleaching it, fitting it on, gluing it on with a linen backing, and then finally shaping it and then cleaning it up again, getting these seams just right. I mean, it's a huge process. So hats off to Victoria. Amazing job on this ivory. I hope that this customer will appreciate this for many generations to come, because she did an incredible job. Okay, onto the piano. This is a replica decal. When we refinished it, the old decal had to come off, of course, and so this was put on there as a replica. And let's check out the inside. Well, there we have that continuous piano hinge that has been buffed up to that high polish. Okay, and the guts of this piano was probably, about as much time as as Victoria took on the ivory, maybe a little bit more actually, of rebuilding on the guts of this piano. So also a massive job. This is a pretty unusual design, the way the pin block is oriented kind of at a slant like that, and then the strings are oriented the opposite direction. Also having these A-graphs, these are very custom A-graphs that you can't get anymore, and there were 2 of them in the process. This is a very frustrating thing that happens from time to time in piano work, because you're dealing with 100-year-old instruments, or in some cases 150-year-old instruments, and in some rare cases even older than that. But a couple of these A-graphs, they just broke off when we were taking them out. They broke off, and so we had no choice but to custom make some new A-graphs. I believe that one, you can see if you look closely, it's not exactly the same as these others, and there was one other, I can't remember where it was, but we took some time and essentially custom made from scratch, just purchased some brass stock online and then duplicated these other A-graphs and threaded it, because those are on the opposite end where it goes into the plate there, it's threaded. So we had to find the right thread and then threaded it to go into the plate. So that's also a big job. I mean, fun and satisfying. It's nice to be able to look at, be proud of work like that, but it's a big job. Okay, all the pins are new. See, it was a really nice stringing job. Everything's beautiful. I prefer these. I like these blued pins. I think they look really good. All new strings. We've got new dampers. We've got triple dampers on the bass. All new hammers. Everything is nicely installed. New hammer butts and shanks, new bridle straps. And then of course the keys have new bushings. We've got new felt and leather and cloth, including the let-off buttons there and the rest rail cloth there. And let's look down below. Oh, well, and I should mention also the plate, beautifully done, smooth like glass. That's a massive job in and of itself to redo that plate, make it look that good, especially for something that it's kind of a shame that the only way that you see the plate is when you take the piano all apart. But this is just gorgeous, I think. Just super smooth. Feels like it is an automotive paint, and it feels like a car. It's just that smooth. And all of these bolts here have been polished up. Those are original bolts, original to the 100 year ago manufacture. And those also just look awesome. Okay, then down here, I mentioned the pedals, the original pedals that have been replated. Soundboard, when the plate was out, here again we have more of the plate. When the plate was out, this was this soundboard is the original soundboard. Let's engage the sustain pedal, and then you can really hear. The soundboard was repaired. All of the ribs on the other side were re-glued and repaired, and then the soundboard was lacquered, making it super smooth, making it look super good. All the trap work was sanded down, refinished, and working properly. You can see this is a Teflon powder lubricant that bushes these springs. And this plate, by the way, I did a short, a YouTube short, about why pianos are so heavy, where there's literally, 6 or 8 of us, something like that, lifting, and it's this particular plate, because this plate is so heavy. I would even say it's probably, I mean, I don't know what numbers the original engineers of 100 years ago were looking at, but I'm guessing based on other plates, this plate is probably significantly over-engineered, because it's probably, I'd have to say at least 20 to 50% heavier than most plates are, and it needed all of us to lift that plate and put it into place. Oh, and actually I should mention one more thing. The way they have it in, we actually had no choice, but we had to take the side panels off. So this was just complete skeleton, because it's just so like enmeshed in the structure of the piano. In fact, I think I have a piano. Let's follow me over this way. I think I have a piano where we're doing that. So that's not super common. Most plates we can get out without doing that. But this one we had to take everything apart. So same kind of thing. This is a Steinway from the 19th century, where we had to take everything completely out. And this actually isn't so heavy anymore once it has the plate out. So that's the same with this one. I'd say 1 in 10 maybe pianos that we rebuild, maybe even less. 1 in 12 or 15 pianos that we rebuild, we end up having to take it apart to that extent in order to get the plate out. So I think that's, there is one more thing actually. Let's look at the back of this piano. Come on around over here. And because I think the back of this piano is actually a thing of beauty. This has also been refinished, soda blasted and refinished, and I think it looks great. And by the way, look at this. This is pretty interesting. Big piece of cast iron that's supporting the pin block. That's an unusual design feature. That just makes it extra secure, extra stable. So that this cast iron goes in that direction, and it has a little flange that supports the pin block. Actually, come back around this way, and you can sort of imagine it. So under here, under this felt here, is where that flange comes, and it supports the pin block. So with all of this tension of the strings, which is about 18 tons, almost 40,000 pounds of tension, trying to collapse this piano, we've got that flange that's supporting the wood pin block here. So that's a very unusual design, and so that was another thing that we kind of had to work around in rebuilding this piano. So this piano was a massive project. I would say significantly more time and energy, and we put a lot of time and meticulous energy into rebuilding these pianos, and this one was even more so. But very satisfying. And these keys, oof, they feel great. Ivory. Okay, let's listen to it. Piano just has a really thick, beefy, meaty richness to it, and something that you're not getting on this video is how good that ivory feels. It really does. That really makes a difference. I think this piano is a really special one, and I think these customers are very lucky to have this instrument. Thanks for watching.